What's up, Slaptail Nation and members of the great Slaptail Army? It is I, your humble squad leader, the Beef Man. Say, do you like coffee? Of course you do. Who doesn't like coffee? Then may I recommend Scars and Stripes Coffee. Scars and Stripes Coffee empowers veterans to start their own e-commerce business. Every product sold empowers a veteran through commission or performance-based bonuses. Purchasing coffee and merchandise directly supports veteran entrepreneurs like friend of the show, Carrie. Not to be confused with the Ronz's Carrie. Carrie is a veteran of the United States Army. She has made it her personal mission to spread awareness of veteran suicide. Tragically, it is estimated that 22 veterans lose their lives each day to suicide. Now more than ever, veterans need our help and support to transition to civilian life. Take this opportunity to support an organization dedicated to empowering veterans and a veteran entrepreneur who is doing her part to combat veteran suicide. We here at the Slaptail Squad enjoy drinking Scars and Stripes coffee, and you should too. So check out her website at carriesbrews.org. Purchase some coffee and merchandise, and let her know you listen to the Slaptail Squad. You can also find her on Facebook at Carrie's Scars and Stripes Coffee, and on Instagram at Carries_brew. Who knows? If enough of you buy her coffee, maybe we can start offering a listener discount like a legit podcast. End of commercial. It's time for the Slaptail Squad. Assemble, mooch fuckos!
Slaptail Squad, assemble.
All right, welcome members of Slaptail Nation. It is the Beef Man, your humble squad leader, saying, hey, how's it going? Is it going well? Everybody's doing fine? Great. So it's that time of the week again. And with me today, here in the Beaver Den, remotely, presently, etc., is my number one, Grogu. Say hello, Grogu. Okay. Also with me today is my number two. It rhymes with poo. The Rons.
Hey.
That doesn't, you don't sound very enthusiastic, Ron.
I am. I'm thinking that I can't compete with Grogu. And I'm wondering how they came up with that name, Grogu. Right?
I don't know. They had to come up with something that sounded kind of cutesy. I mean, how did they come up with Yoda? Who knows? I don't know. Who knows?
The voice behind it was really cool. I really did like it. If you and I watched the series, and what I found really amazing is that it sounded like a toddler always, like saying stuff.
Right.
I really did enjoy it.
Would it be okay if I introduced the other member of the squad? Ron, is that okay, or do you mind?
Tremonde's here?
No.
Rickster's here?
Is Rick ever here?
No, Rick isn't here.
No, Rick is never here. No, I would like to say hello to the Swan. Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
Yeah, very.
I know, I'm very
so
creative.
Very original.
Very original.
Very original. After the events of this week, which I must say are just bullshit and just an attack on democracy and an attack on the Capitol, because of all the bullshit that has happened this week, I would like to say a few things. First of all, I would like to say let's have fun on this podcast because of all the bullshit that has happened this week. So let's throw some joy out into the world.
I agree.
Secondly, I would also like to say that social media is not fun anymore. And if I see any of my friends posting things that I consider to be subversive or that are just not fun anymore, you're going to get unfriended really fast. And it's not really that big of a deal if I unfriend you, because I really don't have. I looked, Swan, how many friends do you think I have on my personal Facebook page?
63.
I have 89, I believe, which is the highest I think that I've ever had.
I'm going to say 89.
That is correct, Ron. Way to go.
He's just mad because you didn't ask him.
No. The thing is, what really got me about that?
That you're not one of his friends?
No, was the fallout. And what I find funny about the fallout was the joke was you saw the guy dressed up in that like buffalo thing, right? The headdress, right, with the
Right.
makeup on, and the joke was, what did his mom say before he went to the Capitol? Bye, son.
Yeah.
And then,
Hilarious.
and here's the other one. This is why you never piss off your ex. There was one who was ex-military or in the military, and he was turned in by his ex-wife.
Yeah.
I had to laugh at that. I'm like, you're stupid enough to do that.
Well, if you're stupid enough to film yourself, do live streams, post all over social media, and then attempt to scrub your account and scrub your pictures and thinking that no one's going to find you, that's completely fucking asinine. What I'll say, I have a friend of mine that I thought wasn't crazy, but I'm going to say that person's just batshit crazy and is getting unfriended from me. And not too long ago, maybe like a month and a half ago, she's been going to these Trump rallies and all this other bullshit all the way leading up to it. She posted a picture of herself on social media with this person. Now, this person is a business owner, and the stuff that she posts, I'm like, you know what? I would be worried about ruining my business from all the stuff that you post. I mean, you got to play it. You got to be smart. I mean, why is social media is not fun? It's not fun anymore. Where's all like the fun, like
puppies and kitties?
Yeah, where's like the kitten videos?
Or like people getting hurt. Those are fun. Watching them fall off stuff or.
Well, I think honestly it's still there. It's like you've got the people just that like to poke and get a response. I've got a friend I grew up with who does that all the time. And how does he sleep at night? I don't know. I don't care.
They either want people to jump on and agree with them, or they want people to write the opposite so they can argue with them.
Or they just want to stir the shit up, right? Yeah, they really do. I mean, honestly, when you listen to our podcast, they must think that I'm a complete. You and I argue back and forth. Thank you. We argue back and forth, right? And that's not the case in real life. We're really good friends. But, when you listen to the podcast, you're like, oh my gosh, he's going to force choke him when he sees him. I'm like, yeah, right.
I don't think people think that at all because our arguments are clearly not real arguments.
Unless the swan starts
like, if you ever listen, no, you probably haven't heard any of the too many of the old podcast episodes of Beefman and the Doc. And there were times when I thought I was gonna reach across the desk and choke Doc. Now those were real arguments. A lot of times we had real arguments. You and I don't have real arguments. They're very rare. The only real argument I think I can recall is when you keep acting like you know more about tech stuff, and I'm like, dude, you fucking are so illiterate when it comes to tech. Your own son was like, dude, I don't know about the old man in tech. It's not.
No, I know more about tech than I let on. But however, no. However, no.
That's an easy statement to make.
There is, but when you're trying to fix something on the fly on somebody else's computer during something, right? So, like the time, Skype didn't want to load up on the system, right? And it's like me walking into your system and expecting it to run to my specific standards. It's not going to do that. And then you're like, you got to make it run like 5 minutes ago. And the problem is still there, right? I understand tech a lot more than I let on. However, not everybody else does it. And when shit goes sideways, it goes sideways really bad for me sometimes. And it makes me look like I'm an incompetent person. But, I know how to use more. Unfortunately, when it goes... Okay.
I mean, what's wrong with that, honestly?
What's that?
What's wrong with being incompetent?
I don't know. I mean, when you're a doctor or a nurse, you want a competent doctor or nurse.
Well, you want
or a nurse practitioner.
It doesn't matter if that's what you want. That doesn't mean that's what you're going to get. I mean, we all want this high standard, but truly we're in the wrong country for that. We don't have the number one medical system in the world. Anyway, back to the whole idiot QAnon shaman douchebag. And I will say that I don't give a fuck. Did you hear? I heard on the news today as I was driving home that he said that Trump invited him to the Capitol.
I've been following social media and I've been watching the news, but I've been only skimming the headlines because I don't want to get too invested in this BS, because that's what it is, just BS, right? For someone like me and you and others out there who defended the Constitution for the right to assemble, that's one thing, but it went sideways real fast because of stupidity. And after that, when it went sideways, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just step back and watch this unfold, because that's what it did. It just started going nuke. And then, of course, everybody's going to get involved and say their own 2 cents. And I'm like, all right.
I find it shocking that people who are in the military, who are ex-military, don't see a problem with this, because there were people there, and I'm getting off, I don't really want to talk about it too much, but there were people there who are on active duty, who were at the rally, and who stormed the Capitol. Well, that's a punishable offense. They're going to get they're going to get court-martialed. They will probably end up with jail time. They could be charged with treason. And anybody who's ex-military who was there and decided that this was a good move, probably, do you not remember back to your military days about what you're doing is wrong? Because now what you're doing is not defending it. You don't have to like the government. The government isn't our country. There's a difference between the country and the government.
You say that now, but the government is monitoring us, so we have to say that.
No, that's the truth, though. You don't have to love what your government does. You're supporting your country and the Constitution.
That's true.
If a handful of people out of the over 330 million people that reside in the United States, if a handful of people think that they were wronged and that they were disenfranchised, but they want everything flipped for them, you just disenfranchised 300 million people for your 30 million, let's say. And you're a domestic terrorist. And what were we taught? We were taught to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
So that really brings me to something that I was thinking about, is that for those who are military and that attended, or not military, I should say, as well, that were ex-military, do we defend the president or the Constitution? Now, I know the answer for me is the Constitution, right? But for those who attended it, who's never done military, never sworn an oath like that, what do you think that they were thinking? They weren't defending the Constitution and for what it stood for. They were just, they were going after what they thought was right, which was, I don't know. I honestly, that's where I kind of trail off. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, that's the truth, though. I agree with you. I don't understand their thought process, because there was no hostile takeover. There was no fraudulent election part. There was nothing illegal found. So what is it that they're trying to fight? Their candidate lost. Okay. That's it. Your candidate lost. Just like all the candidates before, whoever lost. That's all there is to it. I don't want to talk about it too much. I just don't understand the perspective. I don't understand why people would want to be posting bullshit on their Facebook and their Instagram or wherever else. And I can tell you this also. With our social media, if I find any posting on there that I don't approve of, it's going to go off there quick, and we're going to get rid of people.
So here's the other thing that gets me on that. And is it freedom of speech? And I don't think it is on social media, because it's not run by a government. It doesn't run. It's run by a private company.
Right, and they own your content.
So they go, freedom of speech. No. And I remember watching an interview, and this guy who was a Navy pilot says, you don't have freedom of speech. You got smart speech, right? And I kind of agreed with that. You can't run into a building and yell fire, right? And then claim it's freedom of speech, right? Technically, you have smart speech, because if you incite something, that's not really freedom of speech. That's not really smart speech. That's just plain stupidity, right? And that's where it ends on that. Sometimes that's the way I was looking at it.
Well, those smarter legal folks were saying on the news today, obviously because they understand the law, that basically the same thing. Like, yes, we understand that there's freedom of speech, but we rein in that law by basically stating that you can't do things and expect to get away with it, like inciting violence. If what you say is for the purposes of inciting violence, that's not freedom of speech.
I agree.
So,
I agree. Sort of like you
but
incite the swan to,
anyway,
like you incite the swan to yell at me.
I don't. I believe you do that on your own. That's all your own doing, just by your own thieving of oxygen, by the things that you say, your inability to understand technology.
Yeah, let's
Speaking of
go
which,
there.
I often bust on the human race. I really do. But you know what?
What's that?
You got to give the human race some credit.
So, that brings us to the topic.
Does
What?
it?
It does. That's a great segue. I was trying to lead there. It's like, what do you think the first human speech might have been?
Ugh.
Might have dropped that rock on their
Or
foot.
ow when they I was gonna say threw something at somebody, threw a rock at you.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember when I sent this to you guys, and I can you imagine being the first person to ever see a panda bear?
Who in their right mind would try and hug a panda bear?
Oh, come on now! You
They're
wouldn't try.
so cute.
That's how that person died. That's how that person died because I seen it too. I'd be like, oh, look at that. That's so cute. You wouldn't even now knowing that a panda bear could rip your face off. If somebody told you, oh no, this bear's tame, Rons, you could totally hug this panda bear. Don't you? You're telling me you wouldn't try to hug a panda bear?
Well, if I'd never seen a panda bear and that I was the first human to see that, I wonder how many people would think that would be a god, right? If you saw it and tried to describe it, white with dark eyes, and you're thinking, well, this panda bear might need coffee, right? So I think, how many humans mistaken something for the first. What's that?
Spit it out, Ron.
I was going to say, how
Use
many
your
humans.
words.
Okay. How many humans mistakenly, right, saw something for the first time and thought it was a god? Right? Like,
That's an interesting concept. Why do you kind of go there automatically?
well, it's the first time you've seen lightning, right? If you don't know what it is, right? And it only occurs on certain times, right? So you try to describe it, and someone else would say, or they go, your imagination, or it might have been the big creator who gave me this vision, right? It's sort of like the Loch Ness Monster. What if you were the only one to see it? Or Bigfoot, right? How would you describe it? All right. Then what would you think it would be? Right.
Well, if it doesn't look like us being human, I don't know that I would have first jumped to the conclusion that it's a god. That's why I was wondering, why did your mind automatically go there?
Primitive man often probably thought like that. It can explain something.
So I guess you would be primitive man.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, I can take that role. Right. So, it's when you come across something you can't explain it. Now, keep in mind, scientific research wasn't back then. So, how would you describe it? Exactly.
What? I'm sorry.
So
I was
so
I dozed off there for about a minute.
Yeah. So how would you?
I'm back now though.
So if you saw the swan for the first time, how would you react?
What's she wearing?
Well, it's primitive, so I'll leave that up to your imagination.
Let's say, is this 20 years ago?
Probably a panda bear skin.
Why would I be wearing a panda bear skin?
Yeah, that's disturbing. What was that movie Ben Stiller was in where he killed the panda bear?
I don't know.
I
remember that, but I don't remember what movie that was.
The panda bear, and they was wearing like the panda bear pelts. I don't remember what movie that was. That was ridiculous. Was it Tropic Thunder? Was
Maybe. Yeah.
I think
it sounds like it.
Kind of a classic movie. If you haven't seen it, but a lot of people didn't see it, but it's pretty freaking funny. Yeah, I don't know why Ron's mind went there. Is that where your mind would have gone, Swan? To the whole God thing? What the fuck is he talking about?
No, I mean, no, not religious at all, pretty much. But no, I don't think so. I don't know. It made me think of if it's cute and cuddly, it's probably dangerous. Like everything that's cute and cuddly or pretty, like all the pretty plants are poisonous. But no, that's not what I would have thought.
I don't think that most of the dangerous animals are cute and cuddly looking.
Well, I mean, I guess a hippo is not cute and cuddly looking, but he's pretty dangerous.
I mean, I wouldn't
But
want
like a kangaroo is cute,
Yeah.
and those are probably pretty dangerous, and they kill people.
Yeah, I mean, you usually don't go boxing kangaroos. Did you see that video where that guy I showed you that video where the kangaroo was attacking the dude's dog
Yeah,
and he went
he
toe to
just
toe with it,
punched
punched
him.
the kangaroo. That was fucking hilarious. Did you see that one, Ron's?
I do believe I did.
Either you did or you didn't. Why do you believe that you may have done it?
I watched a lot of videos over the years.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
So,
What about you, Swan? What was your first person to do whatever? How'd we get here?
When you sent that, the first thing I thought was, who was the first person to ride a horse, and why did they pick that animal? Like, and how many other animals or things did they try to ride first before they decided horse?
Like a skunk?
Yeah, I mean, hey, this is a horse. So I guess you wouldn't know it would called a horse, but yeah, I'm gonna just ride this.
They asked the horse to be called.
Yeah, yeah. Or like, how many did they try to ride a cow or a pig or a bull or a? I mean, so clearly they probably did. That's why people ride bulls.
Well,
And then
people
they decided it would be a sport. Yeah.
did use ox not that long ago to pull like wagons and stuff. The people
Like,
heading out west.
I'm gonna ride this cheetah. Yeah, good luck with that.
I don't think anybody really thought they could go sneak up on a cheetah and jump on its back.
Maybe not.
Cheetahs never prosper.
Like you said though, I mean, how did they catch a horse to do that? I mean, who decided that they were going to ride on a horse? Obviously, it was thousands of years ago, and horses are not indigenous to the United States. They were brought here. So we're talking, what, Arabia, or Arab nations is where the first horses were ridden thousands and thousands of years ago.
Yeah. And
Sure.
how many times? I mean, they were wild. So how many times did they get bucked off before they're like, oh, we need to tame this horse and ride it? I don't know.
Well, people ride other things too.
Camels, elephants.
Which it was a good idea to ride a camel.
I don't know. Those kind of creep me
I
out.
would think that if they were riding camels or any other type of domestic, or I should say beast, it was just to get from one point to another because they didn't feel like walking or taking a bus.
Yeah, but they're huge. I mean, horses are scary. Horses will kill you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's lots of people that die every year in horse-related accidents. It's not like the horse is kicking their ass on purpose, but horse-related accidents, a lot of people die.
Christopher Reeves.
He didn't
Right.
die.
He didn't die. He was
He
just
didn't die from a
paralyzed.
horse.
He was. That was a result of a
His
horse
death
injury.
is not considered a horse-related death because he did not die after he was injured on the horse.
That horse was tried and convicted of murder.
No, it was not, because he didn't die. He didn't
Well,
die.
he did die right away.
Well, so you can't. You're not going to convict him after the fact later on. That horse was probably already dead by the time Christopher Reeve died.
Serves it right. You don't mess with Superman.
Well, clearly he was not that super of a man because he died falling off of a horse, unfortunately. God rest his soul.
Yeah, I
The
guess
only
so.
Superman. Well, George Reeves was pretty cool too, though.
No
And
relation.
I mean, so let's think about that some more. Like, who was the first person that decided it would be a good idea to go skiing, and then they decided to be extreme and do all these crazy stunt off of ski jumps and.
I think that was kind of like he fell down and someone said, "Wow, that looks pretty cool," off the side of a mountain. Right? It's like, hey, how do you get down to the bottom? And some smartass just pushed him.
Well, I'm assuming that most people started with sleds first.
Yeah, I guess
I think
probably.
they just fell down the hill.
Probably sleds, then snowshoes, and then probably cross-country skis before they ever came up with downhill. That would be my guess. But
So-
even now, I wouldn't do it, so I guess it doesn't really matter what the ancient people would have done, because yours truly is not fucking doing it anyway.
You wouldn't have skied?
Fuck no. Why would you ski? What's the point? So tell me what's the point of skiing?
Well, for speed. You get down there for speed.
Ski?
You can drive in a car for speed.
Not downhill. Well, I guess downhill.
yeah,
but not down the
downhill.
mountain. Yeah, I knew you were going to go there. The minute I said,
Toboggan also.
I've tried snowboarding and skiing. I am not the best person in the world for that.
No way.
Yeah, I have.
I don't believe you at all.
You don't have to believe me. It's my it's what I've done. Right? I've also sledded a couple times. I haven't snowshoed though, right?
I don't
And I've hiked quite a bit though the wintertime, but without snowshoes.
With a camel or an elephant?
You know what? I want to say with a skunk, but I could never find a skunk.
Did you know that elephants, the human deaths as a result of due to elephant interactions are from 100 to 500 per year?
Okay, so it's not elephantitis of the testicles then?
First of all, it's not elephantitis.
What is it?
Tiasis. Anyway.
No, I didn't realize that elephants. Well, I know they cause death. I didn't realize there was a how many deaths they cause per year.
100 to 500 per year.
Wow, that is an interesting fact. I probably will never
Yes.
use.
Elephants have been known to raid villages or croplands in South Asia and sometimes gore or step on humans that get in the way.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, maybe they don't even know they're doing it because they're so big and.
No, I think they know what they're fucking doing. Fucking elephants. I don't understand. I don't understand why people like elephants. Like your aunt likes elephants, but she doesn't really like elephants. That's the thing. She doesn't really like elephants.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like my like for turtles.
Like
I mean,
John.
I like turtles, but because they're cute. But yeah,
No, but you really like turtles.
I like turtles too. But yeah,
You
I
like
mostly
tortoises?
Sure. Yeah, they're fascinating and interesting, and they live forever, and they're cool, and they have a show.
So do you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Who doesn't?
I mean,
Black belt.
there are people that don't like them. Jealous of their sheer skill, much like the Rons is jealous of their skill.
I am.
You have no skill, it's understandable to be jealous.
Did you know I'm a black belt, and that's why I
Oh God, we got into
point
it.
is, why would you like elephants? They're not. Again, people who collect stuff. She doesn't really like elephants. She likes
Cute little drawn elephants and
representation of the elephant.
yeah. I don't know.
Can you
She's liked
imagine
them forever.
Well, can you imagine being the first person to see an elephant or a woolly mammoth? What that might have been like, right?
They probably thought it was a god.
They did.
They did. I'll top you on that one. Imagine the first person to see an elephant or a woolly mammoth take a shit.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be.
It's got to be like 5 feet of shit, 5 foot high.
Or
Maybe not
copulate.
5 foot high, but like a good couple 5-gallon buckets full.
Or you get
What, you think shit is like 5 foot high when an elephant unloads?
No, I don't know. Maybe.
What's your fascination with
big is-
elephant shit?
I'm just saying that she's saying that she doesn't think they shit that high, and I bet they do. How high?
How many pounds of shit?
Yeah, and can you imagine the first woman to see a penis of like the horse or the elephant or the woolly mammoth?
Why's it got to be a woman? You don't check out penises either?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
You talk about them awfully enough.
I like how you cut me off, but
I know.
An elephant swan doesn't say how high, but an adult African elephant can produce up to 300 pounds of dung. Yeah, I'm sure that's only like a foot tall.
In a day, in a week, how many per poop? I mean, I'm sure they poo more than once a day.
150 kilograms of dung daily.
Yeah, so that's more than one poo.
Who says? Maybe they only shit once a day.
How many times does an elephant shit per day? Google
no.
that one. Ask Siri.
No. How many times?
I'm pretty sure they're like dogs and they poop like after every meal.
Really?
Yeah.
They eat probably all fucking day, so then they're just shitting. Shit's just continuing running grass.
So that's one of those questions you guys have to ask in the medical field too. It's like, did you go poo today? And do you have to ask them how much?
Yeah, that is an important part of your assessment because if you have a stomach ache, what is the first thing you ask somebody? When's the last time you went poop? Yep. Was it normal? Was it? Yeah.
Well, I don't ask that to a person when they ask them if they have a stomach ache.
If your kid ever told you he had a stomach ache, you wouldn't ask him when he pooped last? That's part of parenting, man.
Well, he's 19 now. I don't think I need to ask that.
I'm sure you still probably ask him.
I will go up to him. I'm like, okay, hey, RJ, when was the last time you pooed?
So I did. Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say after the last podcast, The bee man said, "Oh my God, your son destroyed the bathroom at the dojo constantly." So, yeah, I can see where that question would come in handy.
Yeah,
So,
your kid used to shit in the dojo every day, at least twice a week.
but let's clarify the bathroom, not in the dojo. And
Yes, in the toilet in the dojo.
and he
Why
There's
did
wasn't
that need to
feeling.
be clarified? Why did that need to be clarified? Do you think people thought that he just took a shit on the dojo floor?
Have you seen some of the people out there this week? I wouldn't put it past them to think what they want to think. Right?
Okay. So I typed in how many times a day does an elephant poop? And some really fun things also pop up because there's a little thing that says people also ask. But first, each elephant eats between 100 and 125 pounds of food every day, which is really not that much. I thought they'd eat more. Elephants defecate between 8 and 10 times every day, and there are 6 or 7 boli, or poop, in a pile. I don't know what a boli is. I guess it's just round
Turds.
poop. I don't know, I guess. That breaks down to about 1 pile per elephant every 2 hours. But here's the fun things that people also ask.
Oh, I
People
thought those were
also ask.
fun.
People also ask, how much do elephants poop daily? What animal poops the most in a day? I really want to know that one. How much is elephant poop worth? And
Ew.
what is elephant poop called? Why do we have to have a name for every type of poop? But I
I'm
really
gonna go
want
with geese poop the most. They seem like they poop everywhere and
let's-
all the time, constantly.
an elephant's poop. Because the beans first have to be eaten, digested, and pooped out by an elephant. What? Apparently, there's an exotic process to fetch a price of $500 a pound for elephant poop. What show was it where the guy was trying to have his cat eat shit to make coffee? What was
Oh,
that?
don't go there. Don't
Oh,
go
I don't
there.
remember,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
do.
There's some coffee. You have some animal
Yep.
eat coffee and then they shit and then they sell the coffee.
You know,
Yeah,
I was debating whether I should bring that up or not,
Isn't
but
it
you
called,
said you
like,
did.
Guar or something? Like it's called something.
It
got a
can
name.
be.
Oh, here it is. $50 for a cup of coffee. All you need is elephant poop. What
Ugh.
the fuck?
And what is it called? It's called like guar or something like that, I think.
Is it called guar or something?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Is it called
What is it called? Look it up.
it's called,
Oh, jeez. It's
the beans first have to be eaten, digested, then pooped out by an elephant. Oh my
It's
god.
so gross.
The coffee is called Black Ivory and hails from Thailand.
there's actually a
Nope.
couple.
I'm not really interested. You can keep that coffee to yourself.
Why? Why would you? See, this is what I don't understand. There's so many things I don't understand. It's like, okay, I can understand the first humans had to try some shit out. You know what I mean? Like the first people had to try some stuff. If you saw an egg fall out of a chicken's ass, there had to be somebody who said, "Hey, you know what?
I'm gonna eat that.
Eat that." And
But-
here we go. Eat eggs, and that's fine. That's fine. But here it is. Man has been on the planet, debatable for how long? Who knows?
2,000 years,
No, god damn. Why would you say 2,000 years?
according to the Bible.
No.
No,
Before Jesus. What Bible are you reading?
According
his
to the
Bible
Bible.
starts when Jesus was born.
So it's only
It's
2,000
There
years.
was no man before Jesus was born.
Okay, 2,500 years.
No.
Right?
No.
But along that line, look up Kawa Kopi Luwak.
Kawa Kopi poop.
Yeah,
No,
that's
Ron.
what it is.
If Methuselah was like 900 fucking years old, then how can you say that there was only people around 500 years before Jesus was born? Man, you are way the fuck off.
So 2,999.
Wrong. And that's not the first person. You know, Adam, he was supposed to be the first dude. Adam, ever heard of him?
Okay.
And incidentally, he was one of yours. You know, he was white because, you know, in the tight, you know, Eden was supposed to be between, you know, they suspect between the Tigris and Euphrates, and clearly everybody from there is white.
Yes.
Euphrates?
It must have been so hard. Must have been so hard for Jesus to grow up white in a.
He had a lot of sunblock.
Yeah, I love sunblock. So I like the word Euphrates. That's a really cool word.
Yeah, I didn't make it up. It's real.
Oh, so yeah.
Why would you decide you're going to eat coffee? Why would you have who decided that though? Seriously.
I don't know, but I have an important statement.
Modern people, why would we want to eat something that got shit out?
I have an important statement. Can I say my statement?
No.
Go ahead.
So we
Go
always,
ahead.
ask the listeners, or if we need any sponsors, we don't want anybody to send us that for free. Don't send us any. We're not going to try it. We're not going to promote it.
Send it.
What?
Now somebody's gonna send it.
I know. That's what I was thinking. That's
No,
what
I'll
came to
tell
my
you
mind
what.
is like, that's
Would
the
you
one thing we're
try
going
it
to
if
get
you
in
were
the
that?
mail. Fuck no, I
Well,
wouldn't try it. I would let you
hold
try
on.
it if you want
Let me
to.
finish. Let me finish. Would you try it if you're desperate enough?
No. Why would I ever be desperate enough?
I'm so
Well,
desperate. I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten for months. I
well,
haven't had any water to drink.
when
Somebody
you think
please.
about it, I mean, desperation brings about a lot of
Why
putting
would that be?
away.
That's the one thing that you gotta have.
So, P.S. Desperate enough. This is how this coffee was made, folks. They were desperate enough that they fed the coffee that they had, instead of making it for themselves, to an elephant to shit it out and then make coffee out of it.
Well, and it's also a wild palm civets too that they make the coffee with.
So, I
But
mean, if they had
also,
all those resources, just make some coffee.
Yeah, exactly. And if you really were hungry, I guess, I mean, just eat the coffee beans. You
so
wanna,
the thing
you wanna
is,
be high, you wanna have
do
some
you
fun,
think they
eat
made?
coffee. That's good for you. I like them.
Do you think they made the mistake of mistaking it as a coffee bean when they saw it?
How can you mistake a freaking 150 pounds of shit or 300 pounds of shit? You pretty
Well,
much.
no. I'm talking
Uh,
about with the
yeah.
smaller animals like the civet that does it.
Fuck are you talking? What's
So
a?
Ron's gonna mistake some rabbit turds for some coffee beans,
Oh, yeah,
and be like,
Raisinets.
"Oh, these are raisinets. Yeah, these are. I'm gonna have. Tasty. No,
Raisinets.
Raisinets. I like raisinets, but not the
Are
I'll
you,
animal
bring you
kind.
some.
are you sure what you're eating is a raisinette though?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Is it?
Use
Hold
your
on.
words, Ron.
What is it? What?
Is it really a raisinette? Because it looks like it.
That's your thing. That's what you're like. Oh, yeah.
No, that's what I'm thinking about right there. That's what it might have looked like if you're mistaking it for a coffee bean, and you grind it up, and someone says this tastes like shit. And I'm like, well, there you go.
Shit too, though. I mean, it's still gonna smell like shit. You're still gonna know it. Hey, you know what? When shit is shit, I know shit is shit. If something smells like shit, I'm not about to filter it through my coffee pot and fucking drink it. You're like, and then when
Well,
you smell, you're like, ooh, this smells like shit, because it is shit.
two women in a coffee cup or two women in a cup would tell you wrong.
Um,
No, thank you.
thank you.
No,
You're-
thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Along those same lines, though. Along those same lines. Who's the first person who decided that it was a good idea to lick a toad? Where did you have? I think I know how that one happened.
Oh, do tell.
Well, primitive man was hungry and tried to eat lots of things.
Yeah, along with that shit coffee that they had.
No.
None of it. They weren't brewing coffee. But, you try to eat a toad, maybe you get high for a while, and they make the deduction after so many people have eaten a toad, they're like, oh, shit, if we lick a toad instead of eating it, we can get fucked up and we've got better things to eat.
Do you think that's why Grogu just goes around being a pain in the ass in The Mandalorian?
So it's Grogu. And it's not Groku. I think you're mixed
Grogu.
or some shit. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Dragon Ball. I don't know. I don't know these. I don't know Dragon Ball. I don't know that stuff. But
I figure pretty much that he's walking around hallucinating.
yeah, he might be because he does eat a lot of amphibious life.
Yeah, maybe that's just what his species eats.
Would you lick a toad, Swan?
No, I don't like frog and their creepy little, or toads and their creepy little backwards legs.
Toad.
No.
Yeah, but
their legs are backwards.
They're like all bent funny and articulated weird and angular, and no, I don't want to eat frog legs either for that same reason, like of their weird jointy things.
Yeah, but they do taste good.
I don't want, no.
Eat, and it's not my thing.
It's a lot of work for nothing.
That's what I just said.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
It's a lot of.
Well, as long as you're not the one cooking.
Hey, how about this one? How many bulls got milked before they realized the cows made milk?
That's gross. Well, just think about it anyway.
This one's only got one udder, and this milk is a lot thicker.
Who thought to drink cow milk anyway?
Well, we're talking
Well,
about,
you guys are in the medical profession. You have to.
and obviously they could see that they were nurturing their children, and they're hungry.
Well, then why don't we just drink human milk?
Because in order for humans to have milk, they have to be pregnant, and it's far
Right?
more to have the cattle be pregnant because then you can
Okay.
eat, or you can continue to domesticate them for milk.
Question then, right?
You
With
didn't
what?
realize
No,
that's
with
what.
what? With wet nurses, were they always pregnant?
No.
So you don't have
But
to be pregnant.
you have to be pregnant once so that you can make milk, and then they just keep drinking milk, like just like those weird fuckers that breastfeed their kid till they're like 7.
So going back, why don't we do that then?
Well, some
Right.
weirdos do. I mean, I guess if that's your thing, you're not weird, but it's weird to me.
I think it's
Well,
weird. It's not. That's the point though. It's
Right.
more weird to drink the milk of animals.
Yeah, so where did it get weird for humans? Like I think that's weird, but
maybe there was
maybe
a
that's
cutoff
not.
point, right? Maybe
Yeah.
there was a cutoff point with a woman going, "Nope, the tap is closed. You got to find something else."
Well, I mean, it's not like they're producing like a shitload, but clearly there's enough nutrients there. You have to keep that person fed in order for them to actually produce a good product.
Okay, and also along the animal line that we're talking.
Tasted breast milk there, Ron's?
Not recently. So,
So
unless you have anything on tap.
Well, about
Breast-
20 years ago, did you?
20 years ago,
When
no,
your child was born?
no.
I mean,
I
I tasted it. I got to see if it's good for my child.
Of course. Right.
You
And I'm
taste
pretty.
Ron's breast milk?
Ron's
Well,
is
thank you.
mine.
No.
Well,
So-
My child's.
So, if animals could talk,
what?
and
Wait,
of
wait,
course they do,
answer the question. You said not recently, but that didn't. So you haven't. Why would you say not recently? Why don't you just say no?
because that's not what this podcast is about. It's about saying something stupid to keep the conversation going forward.
No, he just wanted to argue. So back to the other podcast where he didn't like Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever. He just wants something to argue about.
Let me talk about that for a quick second because you bring that up, right? I like them both. I thought the acting was great, right? And
What about breast milk?
what's that? You cut out. I'm sorry.
He said, "How
What-
about the dialogue?"
I liked it. I like the acting. I like the sets and everything. I'm just a guy who just likes movies sometimes, and I'll watch weird movies just to watch them. Right. There are some really obscure movies I've seen that I would recommend, and people wouldn't like them. Right. And I've seen some really good over-the-top production budget movies that I thought were just shit. That's just me. But I like Star Trek. I like Star Wars. I mean,
But have you tasted breast milk?
No, I haven't.
Not
I-
ever, because you said not recently, which implies that you did in the past.
No,
What?
actually, I have not. I don't think I ever did. Unless I think I was breastfed as a child, but that's about it. So
Okay,
no,
look, we got a straight answer out of him.
finally, yeah.
Right, sort of. Yes. Okay. To me, breast milk tastes like milk after you've had Frosted Flakes that have sit in it for a long time, or Fruity Pebbles back when it was good. Not the way it is now. It's not as good. Of course, Frosted Flakes are probably not as good as either. But that's what it tastes like to me.
Like sweet.
Yes.
Do you think, I mean, I didn't drink it on a regular basis because I only tried it once, but do you
Right.
think it depends? Yes.
She had to clarify. I didn't just open the tap and stick my just if I
No,
got
but
really
do you think that it depends on what the mother eats? Because I feel like it probably does. That's why babies don't, if you eat spicy food, then if you breastfeed them, then that gets in there. So it probably tasted like whatever I ate, correct? I mean,
reason why medication has to be approved for lactating females. It's the same
Right.
thing.
right.
Yeah. Will pass things through your breast milk.
So
So
I
yes,
ate a lot of fruit and vegetables. So clearly,
shut the fuck up when I'm talking. What did we talk about?
sorry,
before?
I was talking first. Carry on.
Go ahead.
A lot of fruits and vegetables and
There is nothing wrong with eating a healthy diet for your child. Nothing. Right?
Well, she should do it now.
I think,
I think so.
when I first met the swan,
Oh, shut up.
right? Okay.
I was saying, so yes, obviously it will make a little bit of difference what you eat. I would not recommend eating a bunch of hot peppers and then breastfeeding your child, unless of course they're Mexican,
Why do you got to go there?
because you're building some tolerance. You know what I mean?
Eat a bunch
Oh.
of beans and then feed your kid.
So if animals could talk, which would be the rudest?
They're
And I
talking.
think that would be humans.
Yeah, talking right now. Right now, it's talking right now. I just heard it.
The Rons.
Yeah, so I'm not paying for that coffee, by the way. I don't want it. Don't send it to me, please.
Yeah, I don't want it either. It's gross. I haven't even tried it, but I don't want to. It's gross.
Okay, who was the first person to try anal sex? I have a theory of why that happened also.
Like they missed the hole, or
Yeah, I'll agree with the swan's answer there.
I don't think that's the answer.
so there was only 2 men around, and they decided they had to put it somewhere.
And the penis, as you said, would open up to accept
Right,
the other penis.
exactly. No?
No, my guess would be that there were trial and error.
Oh, big time.
Not,
Right.
with a woman like, oh, where should this go? I've got this. Where should it go? The first woman's not going to know either. Like, oh, I don't know, put it here. Oh, I don't know, put it there.
So
And
you're
maybe
not,
that woman liked it, and that's why it continued. Who knows?
so you're not saying that they didn't go to their friend to try it out first to see if their woman would like it?
What?
Well, are we talking about asexual humans?
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm just talking about the first man and woman.
Oh, so you didn't clarify that.
You said the first person to try anal sex.
Well, I would assume the first person to try anal sex would have been a man on a woman, but maybe not.
Yeah, you would have assumed. Let's get our friends in here who are gay, and let's see what they say.
No, let's go right back to I wish he was here. Because you seem to think that he's the representative of all gay people and like
I
the
did not specify a name. I did not specify a name.
But you're assuming that all gay people like but anal sex too, because
Yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure there's several of them and lots of them that do not.
I never said that at all.
But you could tell by the confused look on his face that is actually what he was thinking.
Oh, now we're gonna read my facial features.
I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, actually, I guess that I don't really know. I just assume that they all like that.
So is it a social stigma that society needs to get over with then?
What? What social? What? Now I want to hear. What social stigma?
The first person to try anal sex, was that a social stigma? And since it's carried on, do they have to get over it?
I'm confused by that question.
That's
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. But
That's-
so when you said that, maybe there was 2 guys and 1 girl, and they decided they both needed to put it somewhere. So 1 for each.
Well, there's 3 holes then.
Well, I mean,
I
whatever.
wonder how they fit it up the nostrils.
2 guys, 3 guys, and a girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be an interesting combo and not very fun. Anyone involved.
Because there's different mindsets here. If there's 2 guys and a girl getting together, or 3 guys and a girl, who's got the power position? Now, one might say that these 3 guys are taking advantage of this one girl who is willing. I say that it's actually the other way around. That actually she's the power position over those 3.
I mean,
Well, it's got to be consensual. So yeah.
he just said that.
No, I guess she's got to be comfortable with it. That's what I'm getting at.
That's not what I said. That's not what that wasn't even the question I asked.
All right, fine. I was interpreting.
Mindsets is what I'm saying. there's the mindset that the people might look at it and say, oh, the men are in the power position over this woman who is consensual with it, but they're the ones getting everything out of it because they're the ones in power. The other mindset is looking at it and going, here's a woman that says, hey, I got 3 guys doing whatever I want. I can tell you're both just utterly confused by what I just said.
No,
I'm
I'm
not-
going back. I'm sorry. I was just thinking about something you said earlier about chickens.
I was just thinking about that coffee and
Yeah.
How
No,
good
I'm
that
wondering
sounds.
when you
I
mentioned
just
something
like
about
that.
chickens, the first human that saw a chicken, and then we had elephants. I'm wondering how many chickens would it take to kill an elephant? Right?
We're-
And,
Ron's talking about chickens and elephants while everybody else is talking about sex.
well,
Interesting.
the thing is, it's, I have to agree with the beef man. It's like what he's saying is true.
I
No
actually
matter what.
He's just agreeing with you to shut you up and take your side.
ask a question.
That's exactly what you do, but I figure pretty much, in a power position right there, I've said, well, it's consensual. Oh, damn it, I already said she's consensual, right? At that point, it's a mindset. It's whatever.
I mean,
So-
I would have to say that the woman does, even though I don't think I definitely personally would not want to be in that situation. But she gets to choose who and where and if they get to participate all 3 or one at a time or whatever. So clearly she's in charge.
That's
And
what I'm saying. But I think that a lot of people would look at it and say, oh no, the men are in charge because they're the ones who have the power over this one girl. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think that's the way it is at all.
no, I don't think so as well, because the men only get one finish out of that whole thing, and the girl with 3 of them could have multiple times.
Okay, like, did you see, what is it, The Watchmen? Have
Yes.
you ever
Yeah.
seen the movie? Do you remember when Dr. Manhattan
Had his
basically
penis
runs?
out?
Well,
his
no,
penis
there's a scene where he's making love to his wife and he brings in multiple parts of him in, right? Multiple.
Working on a piece of machinery.
Yeah. And I'm like, would you have sex with a clone of yourself or
Why would I have sex with a clone of myself?
with your clone, right? Participating.
Why would I have sex with a clone of myself?
Because you're so damn good looking.
No, I would not have sex with a clone of myself. Did you want to ask it a different way?
No, pretty much no matter what I say, it's going to come
Well,
out
he
fucked
said
up.
he said the other way too. Would you participate in a threesome with your clone of yourself?
Except the first way he said it was.
No,
with
I agree. I agree with what
clone
you
of
said.
himself.
He said it both ways. So I guess with yourself means with you and yourself together on each other, or with yourself as a participant in a threesome with someone else.
No to the first one. Definitely. And I will also say, I would say yes to the second one, sure.
I mean, isn't that? I mean,
But I would
Yeah.
rather clone. I would rather clone the swan and have like 3 or 4 of those. Could I have 20 years younger?
the swan 20 years younger.
Yes. Can I do that also? That'd be
No.
For our listeners out there, how long have you and the Swan been together?
Why does anybody care about that?
Because you often talk about her being 20 years younger and various other things about her. So, obviously,
I've known her probably at least 20 years. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
something like that. Yeah.
It's like for at least 20 years.
Well, I know you've known her for
Right,
at
10
least
years younger.
15.
Fine, 15 years younger. I'll take one 20 years younger. 15 years younger. But that's it. Let's not.
And what would you do with them?
Okay, now you're just getting weird.
No, I'm not. Would you
You're
like
just-
to have the Swan clone make coffee every morning for you in a negligee? And would you have the other Swan clone mow your lawn and give you a lemonade or something?
Well, I definitely wouldn't have them make me any elephant coffee. I can tell you that right now. Coffee. Here's another one I had a question about though. Do you remember Ron's? Did you ever see Blue Lagoon? Do you remember that movie?
Vaguely.
Billion years. Had to be the 70s, I think. Probably the 70s, right? Brooke Shields.
I could look it up, but I'll say yes. I think it was the early.
There's a scene There's a scene in that movie, if memory serves me correctly, where, of course, it's just a love story. These two young folks on an island, and there's a scene where all of a sudden, Brooke is like, something ain't right, and she pushes out a baby, and they're like, holy shiznit, I got a baby. Who was the first? How many babies do you think? How many women do you think had babies until they realized that it was a tiny human and they didn't just fucking kill it when it came out?
That's terrible.
I'm serious. Early man had to have first seen that and thought there was something obviously wrong with that. I mean, the first ones, the first few, obviously they're like, what the fuck? What's really interesting is that you can look back, there's evidence millennia ago that early man understood something about fertility, which is amazing.
What evidence do you have pointing towards that?
Well, a lot of time there's lots of carvings of what looks like there's lots of carvings of eggs with something swimming towards it, where a lot of people say it's a serpent, but it looks like a sperm.
Sure, it wasn't just some kid drawing a line on a rock and saying they'll believe anything.
Rocks, and those lasted for millennia. Oh, it's carvings, dude. And they had fertility gods, lots of that stuff.
Oh, sure. I'll believe you.
Well, do you think that that's from, like, seeing other animals that have births or eggs, or I don't know.
No, that makes sense, though. I mean, if you're going to watch a live birth, I mean, you're going to be able to put two and two together, right? So, yeah, I mean, also, I think that species, when the female species are pregnant or about to give birth, they shoo away or get rid of the male species of that and send them away somehow, or they become very protective of that female giving birth. So I think, I don't know, there's an innate ability to, basically saying, okay, this is what's happening, and we're going to protect her. And if you get closer, I think elephants do that. When the female species is about to give birth, no male elephants are around and protect them, so the birth goes okay, I guess. I think I read that somewhere online. But
I think so. Did you?
Yeah, but I'm not in the medical field. I don't birth elephants. They won't let me near elephants again.
So, what do you think that the first humans? I mean, you said like the baby came out and they didn't know what to do with it. How do you not know what's going on in your body that's moving around? What do you think that's going on the whole time? Or what do you think?
Parasites. They're parasites.
All right, so
he's looking some up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to show you what I got here.
However, someone had to be there's something had to be clicking in the brain at some point.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You can see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. There's a little bit too much of a similarity there. Where, they're like, oh, is this a snake approaching the moon? Or did they have an understanding of fertility? I think that's fascinating.
No, I think it's the snake approaching the moon.
Why would a snake approach a moon? Why? Why would a snake, this 6,000 temple is going to be 6,000 years old. Why do we believe that ancient societies were not as intelligent as us? If they were able to sculpt and create things that are mathematically proportioned that we can't recreate today, you think they didn't understand something about, what if ancient civilizations were much more intelligent than us? Wouldn't that be fascinating?
Stop sharing your screen. Rod's going to read your stuff. Rod's going to take your...
Yeah, too late. I got...
No, there's nothing wrong with that. As I said, the first woman to have a baby, just one day she pushed out a slimy tiny human. Don't you think they killed a bunch until they realized what the fuck was up?
Huh? No, that's not... No, I'm just reading
the show. What are you laughing at?
I don't know. I feel like maybe a couple of them, but I feel like I had an instant bond with mine. But maybe that's because I knew it was there. So you're right. Maybe if I didn't know what it was, I'd be like, what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah, but you've also stated, the Swan, that you don't like kids. So I found that rather amazing.
I don't like kids. I
But just
tolerate my
yours.
own. Yeah. And I
Just yours.
chose to have her, so clearly I wanted one. But
Clearly.
clearly, yeah, no, I know how they're made and how not to make one. Yes.
Well, here's my last question.
Oh, make it a good one, because I've seen that list and pick it out.
Who, and this is modern times, who was the genius who decided it was a good idea to make television shows and entertainment based on fucking with animals?
Merlin Perkins.
I don't remember him actually going and fucking with shit. I remember him filming stuff from afar. You're talking about Mutual of Omaha presents
Yeah.
Wild Kingdom or whatever. What was it called?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Was it Wild?
you're close. Yeah, Mutual of Omaha. You know, and here's my assistant Jim going out there. Notice Jim's got his fist up the rectum of the elephant. Oh, the elephant knows, and he's taken off with Jim's fist up his ass. We'll come back to Jim later.
Oh,
Like,
you know what? Remember, didn't Jacques Cousteau do the same thing? Here we have the tiger shark in its natural habitat. My assistant, Francois, will be getting into the water with him during mating season. I will be observing from the upper deck while I drop an upper decker.
I think the one badass was Steve Irwin until he got
Oh,
taken
yeah.
out. Until he got taken out by that stingray.
That's a total freak accident too, man. That's totally fucked.
It was, but I mean,
That's gonna be like 20 years now.
really, wow. He was
Gotta
the
be.
one guy to get out there and wrestled with the animals. I mean,
Yeah.
he was the real deal. I mean, you never saw Marlon Perkins out there, as far as I
That's what I'm
could tell.
saying. So who was the first moron to decide that that was a good idea? It had to be going on. I mean, obviously that was going on long before television. But that's been going on for hundreds of years, I'm sure. All of these idiots who decided, hey, let me fuck with this for entertainment and see if I can make people interested and maybe make some money off of it.
Well,
Come
yeah,
on.
you're talking
Nick
about
Charmers.
circuses.
Yeah.
Look
Freak
at-
shows.
Look at Jackass. I mean, that dude does all sorts of dumb shit because it's funny. But why would that be a good idea?
Shoot my nuts with a paintball gun or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if
Well-
you're getting paid a big bucks, wouldn't you do it?
No, I'm talking about stuff that will kill you, though. Let me fuck with a cobra. Hey, here's a cobra in its natural habitat. Minding its own business. I'm going to go fuck with it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Or like the dude that let all those super ants or something bite him or get stung by 50,000 bees. Why? Just because you
Well,
can?
No, there's a couple of reasons I could think of why you would do
Oh, this will be good. Go ahead.
One,
What are the
Please
couple-
tell us.
okay, one reason is scientific research, right? So you don't
What-
know how the venom is going to react.
Research doing there? What research are you doing?
Well,
What
you-
scientific research are you performing?
Okay, so first of all, when you think about bee stings and the venom that it produces and the way it irritates the body, right? So at some point you had to have someone get stung.
A controlled sting, but not 50,000 bees.
Well, you think one bee is going to sting you, right? I've been stung a couple of times.
Okay, but
So-
you were just talking about research. So what would be the point of having hundreds or thousands of bees sting you as opposed to a controlled experiment with one or two bees or one bee? Or if you piss off one bee enough in a controlled environment, I'm sure it's going to sting you. There are people who use bee stings for pain control.
Exactly. So, there's the medicinal side as well, the research and the medicinal side.
You didn't answer my question.
Well, I'm getting there, right? So,
My question.
why would they do this?
No, that's not my question. That wasn't my question. Specifically, what was my question?
What would the person, I got to word this right.
Are you going to the mall later?
Yeah, I'm going to the mall later. What smartphone feature would actually be excited for a company to implement? But it was more or less, who was the person to actually think why this would be a good idea?
Well,
On
that was
TV.
the most recent question I asked you was, you said research.
Yeah.
Why do you need that many bees to do research? The whole purpose of the point behind doing, quote, research, if you're talking about scientific research, is making sure that the study or the environment is as controlled as possible. Therefore, utilizing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bees goes beyond a controlled experiment.
Maybe the experiment was how many bees can you be stung by before you die? Because you're a
Or
fucking moron.
Then I could understand having lots of
well,
bees.
yeah, and you know what? They had to use different types of bees, like ghost bees. You know what ghost bees are?
Invisible
Boobies.
bees that you can't see.
Yeah, they're boobies you can't see.
You're dumb. You dumb.
What was
No,
that? Was that killer? What was it? Killer hornet or whatever that invaded at the same time as the coronavirus
Yeah.
thing?
yeah, the murder hornets. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy was. They had a guy on that was saying that who was an actual beekeeper. You know, because they sent like one guy out to destroy all. Like, we're gonna send this one guy out to destroy all the hornets' nests, and he was saying that because he gets bit all the time. Something like he's like it's worse than being bit by like 100 bees or 100 hornets or something like that. It was that fucking bad. Like, and it will go through their protective clothing. That's pretty scary.
Wow. I
But
know.
apparently they were not the threat that we thought they were because that whole threat got neutralized pretty fast, or we don't hear anything about it. Maybe it's actually coming across the country and we haven't heard.
Well, we gotta let the COVID settle down, then those will pop right back up as the new threat.
It's pretty sad though. Did you see like the pictures and stuff? They just chopped the heads off the bees.
Well,
Hmm.
I
Slaughtered.
um,
Just slaughtered.
slaughtered
Bee-
the bees, but not the boobies. No one can touch those.
Yeah, you
touch.
we know somebody who's a beekeeper. We should really get him on to have us tell him about that. Tell us that stuff. It's pretty interesting.
I'd like to know more about boobies.
I'm pretty sure if you don't know enough about them now, then that's an issue for you because you've been married for a long time. Have you seen them?
Not ghost bees, not boobies. But I'm wondering if boobies give milk. Anyway, so
You know, when he tries to be funny,
I know.
Not funny.
I know.
Uh-huh.
I know.
when he tries, it's really fucking sad.
Oh well. Okay. All right. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Take it. Take it. Take it. It's cool.
No, it is. It is. You're right. But back to what I was saying about the what it would take for why would anybody do something that stupid? One is to document it. I mean, when you want to see how Steve Irwin, Jacques Cousteau, Marlon Perkins, all those guys, when they went out there, they were documenting, right, to see how these animals reacted and killed and survived, right? So you want research just in case that animal.
What I was doing though. I mean, I could say, and even Marlon Perkins, the only one who probably was published was probably Jacques Cousteau.
I would say Steve Irwin was published too.
You think he actually wrote and was published in scientific journals?
I can find out. Yeah, I think so. I mean, he brought conservation or Jacques Cousteau brought conservation for the aquatic life, right? Steve Irwin brought conservation to the front for land, right? And water, of course, but more for land.
Every time you say right from now on, I'm going to say, I don't know.
Okay,
Every time.
fair
How
enough.
about the first person? While he looks that up, I'm going to ask my last question because I find this one fascinating. The first guy to ever ejaculate, do you think that he probably thought he broke his dick?
Was it during anal
Probably.
sex?
It wasn't even the question I asked you. What difference does it make what kind of sex he was having? That question I
It
asked
had to
was,
feel good.
or scary, or frightening, or had no prior knowledge of it. Something shoots out of his penis that isn't pee in
Yeah.
relation to news sensation, might be concerned that he broke his cock.
Where did you come up with these questions?
I don't know. They just come to me.
Oh,
Well, how many people this is true? Men are very concerned about their penises.
are they now?
I have had so many people, so many men over the years come to me with concern about stuff that they see on their penises that are completely normal. Then I'm like, no, that's normal. Nope, that's normal. No, that's
Like
normal.
foreskin?
That's normal. No, not like that. Just anything. There's so many things that are just completely normal that men come and they freak out, and you're like, no, that's normal. And if you freak out that easily, I have to say this too. I'm like, every time someone freaks out, I'm always like, Did you do anything recently that you would have to be worried about? No. Well, you think this just spontaneously popped up on your penis and you've got some amazing, this crazy sexually transmitted infection out of nowhere? No.
So what's the weirdest question you've been asked then?
I don't know because I've been asked a billion weird questions. A billion.
Such as?
I don't know because they're no longer memorable to me. Stuff is no longer memorable to me because I've been asked so many weird things. I mean, it just, to me, it's not even weird anymore. That's why I don't even react or overreact or anything when somebody asks me a question. It's like, okay, it's this.
So, do you think that the more frightening part is when they come in and they have some scary, weird shit on their penis and they don't think it's abnormal? Like,
Well, I wouldn't
hey,
see it then.
well, just in a routine like medical exam, you're like,
Look anymore.
no,
I don't anymore. Nope.
oh, okay. Well, because like I'd be like, oh,
Ask a
whoa,
question.
dude, you got 50,000, whatever.
How many people are actually getting sued now, just men doing exams on men.
Yeah, I can see that. True.
A lot of companies will tell you not to even do those unless you've got another person in the room with you. And most of the time, there are not other men on staff. So who are you going to ask to be in a room with you? A female?
Right.
So now I can do those exams. I just ask them as part of their physical exam, do you have any concerns with your genitals? And I ask those questions. That's it. I don't do prostate exams anymore. I don't do any of that stuff anymore.
So when did you become so numb to the question?
I don't know.
Or I should say numb to the answer.
I don't know.
Okay. So
back to the question about ejaculation. I mean, do you think that they noticed it spontaneously, like as in like a nocturnal emission type situation and be like, ooh, what's that? Or like they were messing around with it and all of a sudden, oops, that happened.
It went off. Pow! I don't know. Does it matter? Because either way, the question is still the same.
Yeah, because I mean,
it doesn't matter. The question is still the same. The first person to ejaculate. It doesn't matter how they ejaculated. I'm just saying.
Well, if it's a nocturnal emission, that means they were asleep, so they wouldn't realize that.
You don't realize.
You wake up and you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, and where did it come from? It had to come out of my penis. Like, that's not normal. Like, do I have a pus coming out of my penis? Because usually just pee comes out of there. Or, I mean, you're playing with it, or washing it aggressively, or whatever.
How aggressively do you have to wash it?
I don't know.
Wow.
Follow-up question to that, and this is the question I'm going to close on. This is one for thought. Follow-up question then is, now we know years, for centuries, whatever, that people ejaculate. Okay? It's not a secret anymore. Who was the first person to figure out that if you manipulate the prostate that you can ejaculate?
Well, aggressively washing probably did it.
Oh boy, how do you
wash your prostate?
No, I meant to say the penis, but I like, that, yeah. I don't know.
Do you know where your prostate is, Ron?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That's the basic anatomy.
Oh, is it now?
No, I'm just asking you because there's probably lots of people that don't know.
If it was basic anatomy, then why do I have females coming to me asking me questions about their prostate?
Exactly.
You got it. I'm not in the medical field. I don't work with the clients that you do. I don't know anything about you working in that field other than what you tell me. I'm pretty sure you can tell me some pretty wild stories for this podcast, and it would keep people either guessing, laughing, or going, what the fuck is going on in your life?
I have had females ask me questions and concerns about their prostates.
Note to everyone, if you're a female, you do not have a prostate.
If you were
Public service announcement. If you were born female,
you do not have a prostate.
But you can prostitute yourself.
Oh, Ron's.
Yes. But I don't feel like the Ron's understood that question, so mull that question over in your head and really think about it.
So I think probably just from, because I don't have a prostate either, but maybe the male was holding his poop for a really long time and it stimulated the prostate, which then felt good, which led to the, if I do this, then it will feel good as well.
So you think as he passed a large poo,
Mm-hmm.
massaged his prostate enough for him to ejaculate?
Yes.
Is what
Yeah.
So
And
we've
then
covered
he's like, "Oh,
we
that felt really good. So maybe I'll do that again someday."
so we've covered poo, anal sex, and prostate and semen all in one podcast.
Exactly.
Wow, this is just
well,
one that's
nobody else is asking the hard-hitting questions like the Beefman is.
of course, and talking with two medical professionals, I these are questions I don't think I would have ever breached on.
So,
So so
So
so what does your brain think about for random questions then?
yeah, you got time for one.
Yeah,
Go.
one random question and go. Don't Google it. Just come up
Go.
with what comes in your brain.
oh,
Go.
if you could possess anybody as a ghost, who would it be and why?
Johnny Depp.
And why?
'Cause he's cool. He's really chilled and laid back. I think he probably has lots of fun. And I don't know. I think he'd be just fun to hang out with.
He looks cool as a pirate
Yeah.
or Edward
Or just a
Scissorhands or in general.
And that would be a hell of a prostate exam with Edward Scissorhands.
Hi-oh.
No.
You know,
Haircut, prostate exam, maybe a little tummy tuck, whatever. Oh, Ron's.
oh, I see. But if that came out of the bee man's mouth, it would have been hilarious.
No.
Yes. Okay, same question to you, Swan.
Hmm.
Uh,
I want to be a super rich person, like a rich and
Johnny
famous,
Depp.
like no, like just
Johnny Depp.
somebody who's so stupid, like one of the Kardashians for a day or so, just so I can see how those people live because I've watched a couple of those episodes and they're talking about like, oh, we need to help the homeless and we need to do this, and then they go out and spend $800 on a dinner and think that that's like nothing and that's normal, and they leave half of it on their plate. Like I just want to have that much frivolous time to do nothing and see what how those people are in real life and if they're really like that.
Don't you think though, after they've filmed that scene, that they go back and eat it because they don't really particularly look super skinny, most of them.
Probably, but
They're like, we're just gonna pretend like we're not gonna eat this, and then as soon as they cut, they go back and shove it in their face.
no, I just like the clips of what they say sometimes are like, you really are that clueless about a lot of things. And how can you be that clueless? Is it just because you're so spoiled and entitled? But
I can't understand the appeal of watching those shows in the first place because the few times that I've seen like 10 seconds of that stuff, I'm like, I can't. How can fucking anybody watch this shit?
Yeah, watching those. There's such a disconnection of the society to reality with that. It's just too far.
yeah,
Too
that's what
far-fetched to
it's
believe.
that's what gets you stuck in it because you're like, is this really true? Like, do they really think so? Yeah, you want to go help the homeless, but you have $80,000 of Botox and plastic surgery, and you're talking about you need
No,
a spa day and you need to get your next lip injection. But how are you helping the homeless? You're like, oh, I donated some t-shirts.
that's
Cool.
that's like watching Jerry Springer and all the other shows. I disconnect right there. I'm like, I am not going to get sucked into that reality, that level of stupidity, that level of asinine behavior. I'm going to
But
walk
those
away from
half
it.
of those shows are made up. Like those are like a
And the
story and
Kardashians aren't.
well, but those are real people and that's their life. Like
Yeah, I
Jerry's
mean, how many they film them for hours and hours and hours just to get 5 minutes?
right.
Because they're not exciting, they're not interesting. I mean, they're gonna film. I mean, all those reality shows are like that. They do so much filming just to get 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit. Like that's why I don't understand it. Like if you're so interested in reality television, then watch a documentary.
Yeah.
That's way better. Like watch something good. I mean, obviously the narrative is controlled by the person doing the documentary, but it's far more interesting than why those reality. I never understood that. I'm like, I don't see the appeal. It's not interesting to me. I'd much rather watch something that's fictional. Personally, just saying.
Oh.
You want reality. You want shit that's real. You listen to this podcast.
Damn straight. I think the one person, actually, I have a couple, but Weird Al being one of them.
You get one because I said you had a few minutes so I could wrap up the podcast so you can look at the time. When you look at the time and see, go ahead.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Ron, you can have the microphone and we'll listen.
Yeah, I know. But
if you could just.
If it's one person right now, I'll come back and revamp my answer, but it would be the Beeb Man, just to see what it's like.
My life is miserable.
Right.
My
and I would walk
around
and go around going, the Ron's is awesome. Have you listened to him? Did you know he's a black belt? Did you know he does this and that? Right. And then just for peace of mind, I would just yell in his voice, "You're an idiot. Get out of here." Right. I would make his day one day of nothing but pure happiness. Right. If I could possess the Beeb Man. Right. I would say The Mandalorian is a great show. Anybody who doesn't like it, including the Rons, who's cool, super cool, is shit.
Can go fuck themselves.
They can go fuck themselves constantly. And then, you know what? I'd walk into it, I'd walk into his office, wherever he's at, right? Possessing the Beeb Man's body, looking, flexing the mirror. And when they go, "What are you doing?"
Ron's is making it creepy.
Just making it good.
Making it creepy. So always gotta throw something creepy in there.
No.
So you want to possess him to be an asshole all day, or you want to possess him to be, and you're gonna make him nice all day? Is that what you're saying?
I
or
guess
you want to live like he does all day? There's lots of different scenarios going in there.
Well, when you say he's an asshole, I don't think he's that much of an asshole.
Well, that's what you're saying.
Guy. No, I'm not. That's what you're saying. I never went to that. Either that or The Mandalorian, just because he says so little and he's such a badass. With that Beskar armor of his. Which really surprised me because I thought lightsabers and shooting laser guns, the blasters, could shoot through anything.
Not Beskar, clearly.
Clearly, because he's cool. Okay,
all right, Ron just made it creepy and weird, but it's cool.
Yeah, creepy there.
A little creepy and weird.
Creepiness there.
I can't even make it weirder, but I was gonna try.
You were gonna try to get creepy.
I was. He was gonna strip you down and check you out in the mirror.
No, I said flex. I didn't say strip him down.
Well, I mean, that's your expertise, though. You like that. It's your thing. You strip people down, right?
No,
them out of their clothes.
Where did that come from?
Spilled a little gas on himself.
No.
Oops, you spilled that coffee. We better strip you down.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. It's like you remember the people like having like the paint attacks on people with fur and shit, and and people, acid or whatever. But the Rons, he tries to spill fuel on people just so he can get their clothes off.
No, nothing.
As he possessed your body, he's like, "Oops, I spilled my milk. Let me strip you down."
So, Rons, if you look at the official Ultimate Star Wars New Edition, basically encyclopedia, it says specifically.
You happen to have a copy of?
It says specifically in there that Mandalorian armor, blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah,
it is capable. Mandalore, made of Beskar, a form of iron unique to Mandalore and the moon of Concordia. It is capable of repelling Jedi lightsabers. And there you have it.
I did not know that.
Is that the only thing?
Only thing what? If it repels a plasma lightsaber, then it's going to repel laser fire.
Yeah, blasters.
No, but I mean, is Beskar the only thing that can do that? Or is there other materials that can?
Repels a lightsaber.
Oh, that's true. True.
Saber type thing, there's, if you've seen the new movies, there's other things that they use that are made the same way. So, but you got to have some skill also. Hence why he's able to cut down through everybody, because he's a badass. You can't just have a lightsaber and be a badass. It doesn't happen that way. Just like you can't just have a sword and be a badass. No, anyway, let's wrap this shit up. Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up, Rons.
Thanks, Rons, for making it weird.
Don't be a fool. Wrap your tool.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, Rons. Wrap it up.
Oh, and if
Don't
you
do that,
really,
Willie. Don't be silly.
if you want to possess someone, I would not suggest me. That seems a little bit odd. Just so you could watch yourself flex in the mirror. I don't know. And I guess if you cloned yourself, I don't know why you would want to have sex with yourself because that's the first place that Ron's went with his questioning. Seemed a little odd. But I guess that's how. I guess Ron's is really attracted to himself.
And who isn't? Aren't we all attracted to ourselves?
I don't want to have sex with myself.
Isn't that what narcissism is? Attracted to oneself?
We're gonna dig deeper into that one in another moment because
What is
we'll write that one down. Narcissism, because
What is
I
it?
have lots of. I don't think those people are very self-confident at all, actually. So hold
Narcissism.
that thought, Ron.
Narcissism.
Okay.
What it means to you.
Yes.
As defined by the Rons. Speaking of which, other topics that I would like to go over in the future Rons, and the Swans won't be part of this podcast, but I want to do a Karate Kid podcast.
Oh, so I should do some
Don't tell me
research
you
on
haven't
that.
seen the Karate Kids. You haven't seen the Karate Kid?
I've seen the original one, the Jaden Smith one, and are you talking about the YouTube series?
There's
Yeah.
there's technically 4 original ones, and then there's the Jaden Smith one. That's the Karate Kid series.
There's 4 original? I thought there were 3.
There's 4. There's one with what's her name? Who's a girl?
I remember that one.
Swank. Yeah. That's the 4th one.
There was the first one I remember where the initial meeting of everybody. The second one, which was the tournament.
No, the first one was the tournament.
Yeah.
The one was they go to Okinawa.
Yeah, that's
the
after the tournament.
And the third one, Daniel defends his title against that psycho freaking weirdo kid. And then the 4th one is with Hillary Swank. Which
I apologize, you're right.
Karate Kid technically is a Karate Kid. And then there's the Jaden Smith reboot, which we don't know why it's called the Karate Kid when it should be called the Kung Fu Kid. Whatever. Good little movie. Liked it. It was cool. And now we have the Cobra Kai series that has had 3 seasons so far, and season 4 to be released, I guess, probably next year. I guess. I don't know. So have you seen Cobra Kai?
No, I have not.
Okay, not necessary for you to do the Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid podcast, but I think that we will ask for a guest on that one, because obviously Tremonde is not going to be on that one either, because Tremonde has never seen Star Wars. I seriously doubt he's seen Karate Kid.
I bet you he's seen the Jaden Smith one.
I bet you he hasn't. Any bets? Anyone right now? Let's take
I
a bet.
bet he has.
Ron's?
I don't know Tremonti that well, but I would say
So that means you can't bet?
no. I don't know the odds.
Answer the fucking
No,
question.
just take a guess.
You can't just answer a question when we ask you a question.
That's his thing.
All right. Yeah, he's seen it.
Okay.
All right, good.
All right. Well, that's it then for me, the Beeve Man, talking about the future podcast. We've got one as suggested by the Swan. What is a narcissist? And then I've got one that I'd like to do in the future. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to be a Karate Kid based one. Hell yeah. Maybe we'll ask Andy back for that one. He's
Oh yeah.
a Karate Kid fan. All right. Thanks for joining us. Hope we brought some fun and happiness to your day when this will be released. Thank you to all of our listeners. Spread that podcast out there. Spread it around. Spread it around
like mail.
Not unlike a large pile of elephant poo. But don't
send us any coffee.
Drink that coffee. All right, that's it, folks. Adios, mooch fuckos.
Bye
Hey.
from the Swan.
Hey, from the runs.
He did it again because I did it.
Sorry, motherfuckers.
What?